Hi, this is John from ABC Snooker with a quick instructional video on how to use the XL147 Snooker Timer software program. You can get a demonstration of this for 1 month, full working version for free. If you need more details on it, just go to the website abcsnooker.com or abcsnooker.co.uk. In the search bar, you can just type in XL147. And then that will hopefully bring up the program itself. You can read some more details on the program here, see how it works and the features it's got. As I said, there's a free 30-day demo version available on request. There's no annual fees, so you just pay once for the license and that's it. You've got it for life, no recurring fees. We also allow you to change the prices once a year. So if you want to change your table prices or your food and beer prices, we can do that once a year as well, up to a maximum of 100 items. Okay, so that's some background details on where to find the program, where to buy it. As I say, you can request a copy just by contacting us either through the website, through the phone number here, or you can use the contact us form and just fill in your details there. And then in here, put your usual stuff and then just request a copy of the program itself. So once you do get that copy, which we email you, it will just arrive as an Excel program. So you will need a working copy of Excel, Microsoft Excel, ideally 2015 or later. You will receive that as an attachment in an email. So just copy that to your desktop, double click on it to start it. And then once it starts, depending on, what setup you've got in Excel, will depend on what it looks like the first time it runs on the screen. So the first thing it will do is ask you for a password. The password is just XL147, all lowercase. Click OK. And then when the program appears on the screen, you will get this warning that the macros are just the internal programs behind these buttons. So you just click enable content. It then tells you how long your license will last for or expire in. Okay, that program at this point is ready to use, but before you actually start using it, I would just do a little bit of homework and some good housekeeping first. Obviously, you don't want the users clicking on things that they shouldn't be clicking on, so a lot of this is foolproof, but it is still possible to click on things that you shouldn't if it's set up wrong. So, for example, in here, um, you know, you can start getting spurious messages on the screen if you start clicking on things that you shouldn't click on. So the best way to get around this is to set up your Excel program as follows. We want a minimalistic display. We don't want anything on the screen that we don't want. So if we click on File and then Options and then Advanced, what we can do is we can scroll down to the display options and we want to untick formula bars. We want to make sure that the sheet tabs is switched off. We don't want to be showing any sheet tabs. And we also want to make sure that the row and the column headers are switched off. Okay to that. And then once we've done that, we can just go up here and click on our ribbon display and we can click on auto hide. And now everything is gone that we don't need to see. So that's it. That leaves us with our nice, smooth, clean interface with just the program on and nothing else. And it's good housekeeping at the start to just click on the Reset All Tables button. You get a message saying that that's been done. Okay. And then you're ready to go. So obviously if somebody comes in, they want to go on the table, and let's say it's table 1. You don't have to put the person's name in there, but if you did want to keep a track on who's been coming in and out the club, this would be good for keeping a list of your members. Comes in handy sometimes when someone's gone out and left the queue or the car keys or something like that. It's a good way to trace them. So if you wanted to do that, you could put the person's details in here, phone number, and then once you're ready, you would just click start. Once you've started a table, the area here changes to a light green to signify that that table is up and running, and then the screen will actually refresh every 30 seconds and you will see new values appearing here. If you wanted to force the refresh, you can just press this button here, and you can see now that after 17 seconds the costs are 4 pence. Force it again, and then after 23 seconds it's 5 pence, and so on, depending on whatever your table rate happens to be. So that chugs along nicely in the background, and these details here are stored as well. So if we click on this members button, we can see that any details that you've put in will be stored here, and that's also good for keeping a track of your members, or for any other reason you want to know who's been in or on the club. Other things that you can do is there's an extras button. You click on the extras button and it will take you through to an additional page for that table where you can add any of these things onto the person's bill. So for example, if you've got two non-members on the table, you would click that twice, and that would, depending on the rate, in this case it's £1 per non-member, it would add on £2 to the costs. Click update, and then you can see straight away that an extra £2 has been added on. This area also changes colour to signify that the reason that there's an additional cost there, even though they've only been on for 1 minute, is the fact that they've got some extras involved. Now, sometimes people only want to go on the table for an hour or an hour and a half, so you can do that as well. So at £8 an hour, every 30 minutes is going to be £4. So if the people only wanted to go on for an hour and a half, you would click this button 3 times. That's just auto refreshed, by the way, and brought me back to here. So when it does auto refresh, it always brings you back to the home page. That's no problem. Just click on this again. Yeah, so I would just click this button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. So that adds on 3 half hours at £4 per half hour is £12 plus these costs here. And if we scroll down, we can see that we've got snooker costs of £12, other costs, which would be like non-member fees, drinks, food, of £2, giving us a grand total of £14. We click on update costs. That takes us back to the main, and now we can see that the costs for this table at the moment are £14, and the message is now changed to be extras and fixed, and that signifies that this table, the people only want to be on it for a fixed amount of time, an hour and a half. Now the obvious thing is as well, how do we know when an hour and a half is up? And this white area here is white at the moment, which means that there's no alarms in place. But after an hour and a half, that area will turn red to signify that this fixed time is actually up. So we'll do a quick demonstration on that now. I'm going to change the PC time down here and push it forward 2 hours to see what this screen would look like after an hour and a half or 2 hours. So it's manual. I'll set the time to manual and I'll change the time. I'll just go forward from 1800 hours to 2000 hours. That should be enough. Change that. And then once that changes, you can see there now that this area has gone red. So at a glance, you can see that this table is on. All these tables are off because they're in dark green. And this one is on a fixed time. There's also extras on this table, food and drink. And the fixed time is actually up because this area has now turned red, and that is that basically. So at some point they're going to come off. You want to press stop. That will take you again through to the timesheets table, and it will give you their costs, the date, the time, when they finished, how long they've been on for, the table number, and any other details that you've took in there as well. Click that to return, and then once they've paid the bill, you can just start it for somebody else. The next person that goes on, you would click start or reset. It goes back to 0, and then the light goes back on again. This does stay here for a few seconds because obviously the screen hasn't refreshed, but once it does refresh, like it did then, you can see that that red alarm goes away, and we're back to normal as we were. So that's about it really. You can, that repeats itself throughout on all of these tables, and quite easy to use. And as I say, it's only it's a single fee. It's a lifetime fee. You don't have to repay every year or 6 months or nothing like that. So once you own the program, you own it for life. Hope you've enjoyed it, and if you've got any questions or comments or anything you'd like to ask or features you'd like to have added, just give me a ring or drop me a line in an email. Okay, thanks a lot.